Every year for Christmas, we would go to the Christmas Eve service. My dad would load us up into the car. We'd sit out there and wait and wait and wait for Mom to come out. We never knew why it took her so long, but when we got home, Santa Claus had been there.
Appreciate all the help after each of my kids were born, 2 trips to Texas and 1 to St. Louis to help with the baby and or the toddlers. From that to Grandad taking Jake to check cows before he was 1 and hanging out at the pump after he got older. To Granny spending time with the girls, cooking and sewing. Lots of great times.
One of the many things I admire about Granny and Grandad is their generosity of time. It doesn't matter if you call them a week, an hour, or a day ahead of time, they always have time for you. Granny can magically put together a whole meal with items from scratch, and Grandad, no matter the age of the boys, was willing to bundle them up and take them out to check cows or to give them a tractor ride, and even now they'll all pile in the truck and go to town to get a drink. Thank you, Granny and Grandad, we love you.
I will always remember the day Granny let me buy handcuffs for my birthday, and I would handcuff myself to everything I could in the car on the way back home. I will always remember how ornery Grandad is and how he always used to have either butterscotch or Werther's candies with him.
A lot of memories come to mind when I think of Granny and Grandad, but the few I can think of off the top of my head are picking walnuts. We would usually pick walnuts all afternoon, and then the night would conclude usually with a weenie roast and then s'mores. I always checked cows a lot with Grandad when I was younger, and I still do now, and still enjoy it. And I always had fun picking strawberries with Granny.
My favorite memories are helping out on the farm with Grandad, and then whenever we get done, going back to the house and eating bologna sandwiches and ginger snaps with Granny, and drinking homemade lemonade.
One thing I admire about Granny and Grandad is the fact that they still go on adventures like their bus trip.
My favorite memories of Granny have got to be from being in the kitchen. My love of baking, I'm positive, has come from her. I remember making pies and pie dough from scratch, making peach rolls, pancakes, and then always doing Sunday lunch, having Italian chicken, things like that. Grandad, I'd say I can probably attribute some of my professional success to some characteristics that I've apparently inherited from him. I like to take the kids around with me when I take them to work, and we'll go visit different realtors or lenders or bankers or whatever and drop off donuts or just be generally around. And I was telling Mom this one day, and she told me that apparently Grandad also does that. Go around and visit different places, maybe be a little bit ornery. So I would say I picked up some of that from him, and it's served me well.
Thank you for always being role models as parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents to us. From teaching me how to sew, to letting me help out in the hayfield, and always showing up to all of our home ball games, whether we were playing or coaching. You have always made us feel loved and important. We love you, Granny and Grandad.
Hi, Granny Grandad. This is Joe. I've got a lot of great memories and stories from over the years. The things I learned when I first started visiting the farm, like how hard it can be to separate cows and calves, and just how high those animals can actually jump, to all the Christmas shows that we've seen in Branson, to the many family meals and get-togethers that we've had over the years. But 2 of my favorite stories are the one of the day when I asked Bernard for Tracy's hand in marriage, and he introduced me to a shotgun, and the Christmas where everyone was given tan Dockers, and of course I got the blue ones that I had asked for. But more importantly, I remember and continue to appreciate all the love, comfort, and support that you guys give the entire family. I love both of you very much, and I look forward to many more great memories over the years to come.
I'll always remember how ornery Grandad is and how Granny always has something ready in the freezer.
There are countless memories of spending time with Granny, working on sewing projects, and baking pies and cookies, and probably peach rolls. As a kid, hanging out with Grandad, it was always fun, for whatever reason, to be able to run the bale spike when we went out to feed hay. As an adult, it's been fun to work on Granny's Storyworth book and hear all their memories from when they were kids growing up. And now that I'm working on Grandad's, getting to do the same with him. It's such a blessing to be able to still have our grandparents and to be able to spend as much time as we have with them over all of our years. And it's safe to say we all love you guys.
I loved having Granny and Grandad visit me at Mizzou for the weekend. We went sightseeing, had some good breakfast food, ate some Russell Stover's chocolate, and made homemade pizza. Thanks for coming for a weekend and also to my graduation the next year.
I have a lot of memories with Granny. I can remember spending part of the summers with Granny sewing dresses, picking out patterns, sometimes even combining patterns, which I'm sure gave Granny a headache, and searching for the fabric that was just right. I will never forget those moments. I can remember the first time that I learned that Grandad knew how to crochet. I was so shocked. I tried to sit and learn the ways of crochet, but I could not sit long enough. I think my favorite part about all of this is that Grandad crocheted house slippers for Granny.
Thank you for being role models in our lives. I hope you experience the love and compassion that you show everyone else around you. We love you and appreciate you guys.
I guess the best and funnest day of my life was making Bernard and Kay the happiest parents on earth. And truth be known, that might have been just Bernard saying, "You can't bring her back." But could not have asked for any better second mom and dad in the world that I could think of. Love you both.
I remember going to Granny's house and always making sweet treats or having sweet treats to eat, like peanut brittle or cookies or things like that. And I always remember checking cows with Grandad and riding in the back of the truck looking at all the cows we would go see.
Mr. Means, little Jake here, or the 300-pound version of it or so. I just wanted to say, obviously I'm not there with you all this year, but Merry Christmas. And I do hope to see you soon, especially for some of our chats. The reason I bring that up is the very first time I came over, the random boyfriend of Rachel, wanting to leave a good impression as you do. Just your ability to take me to the side and just sit at that dining room table and have a 30-minute conversation in a house full of 20-some people, full of love and laughter. Somehow you made me feel like I was the only one there. And it's a truly amazing quality and rare gift. And I'll tell you, I do look forward to some more of those chats. So chat a leg off or two in my absence. And Merry Christmas. We'll see you soon. Hello, Miss Means. Merry Christmas. It's little Jake here. Hope you're having a great time, surrounded by your family, as I know you are, inevitably. I just wanted to say that it's amazing to me how you've produced an entire family that just loves on each other and cares for one another and always loves to be there for one another. And I love those cackling hens. You know, I've always been told that them 3 daughters of yours are those cackling hens, but I have my suspicions about where that probably came from. You're not fooling me, but I hope you get some good cackles in and have a great time. So Merry Christmas. Hopefully we'll see y'all soon.
Hi Granny and Grandad, this is Brad, and I've always admired your willingness to show up to everything. I mean, you would drive an hour to our 20-minute Christmas program, or when you came down to my senior night for basketball, even though I had broken ribs and there was not a chance I would play, but you still showed up, and that's what I've always admired about you. And a couple of my favorite memories would be when Mom and Dad were away with Jack and Ryan at some baseball tournament, so I got to stay at your house for the weekend. And Granny, I remember you let me wash the windows with you, and I thought it was so cool. And for the next probably week, my mom was probably very happy because I really wanted to wash the windows. Those were good times. And Grandad, one time you took us out to check cows, and you took us by the pump, and you took us by all these places, and for whatever reason we were out by Lockwood Golf Course dropping things off, and when we drove back by the golf course, you honked at the people on the golf course, and I thought that was the funniest thing ever. Just good times, and I love you both.